Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Rhonda, and it is Saturday afternoon. And y'all, I'm just doing my quiet time. What? What? Yes, I know. So if you guys are new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Rhonda. And as I was reading, first let me start. Saturdays are kind of crazy. Some days I can get up early and get my quiet time done, but we usually have my granddaughter Kyla, so it's like her day. And I try to sleep in. We're usually up super early. Saturday's my not fasting day, so I get to have coffee with creamer. So I may get a little distracted on Saturday mornings, but I usually try to get my quiet time in right after she leaves. But today we went on a day date, me and my hubby. So by the time we got home, it was like 3:30, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just really need to just lay down for a minute. And so yeah, I woke up again. So it's kind of like my quiet time first thing. So anyway, I did my morning pages and my daily reader, but I was reading through my devotion and I just had one of those aha moments that I thought, you know what, I need to share this because I didn't think about it this way before, even though I may have thought about it in other context ways or whatever. The way it hit me today was a little different. So I thought I would share. And for you guys that may be new, this is just a little daily devotion that I read along with through my daily reader, which we are in Job and 2 Corinthians. So those are the one Old Testament and one New Testament. So today's devotional is off of 2 Corinthians. And so it's talking about less self-reliance and more God-reliant. And so the verse that we read today was, and this is Paul writing to the church of Corinth, and it says, we think you ought to know, dear brothers and sisters, about the trouble we went through in the province of Asia. We were crushed and overwhelmed beyond our ability to endure, and we thought we would never live through it. In fact, we expected to die. But as a result, we stopped relying on ourselves and learned to rely only on God, who raises the dead. And that's 2 Corinthians 1, 8 through 9. And as the devotion starts, it just says a quick internet search turns up numerous articles on 7 rules, 10 ways, 4 steps, and 3 skills to teach our kids to be self-reliant. The key word here is self-reliant. Clearly, self-reliance is a value of our age, and to a certain degree, we understand the benefit of teaching our kids to be self-reliant. We don't want to still be putting toothpaste on their toothbrushes and setting out their clothes for them when they're adults. We want them to be able to make good decisions and act on them when we're not around. We want them to have a healthy sense of themselves as people made in the image of God for His glory that gives them the confidence to move out into the world and make a difference for Christ. But there is something more important than teaching them self-reliance. And then here was the little bomb drop. Y'all, I'm sorry, this lighting. I'm just realizing how. Maybe that'll go better. So here's the little bomb drop. Paul had to be taught this more important thing, and the lesson wasn't comfortable. In his second letter to the Corinthians, Paul said that he had recently experienced something so dire that he expected to die. Perhaps his detractors had started a riot in Ephesus, or he'd faced the prospect of execution, or he contracted a life-threatening illness. Whatever it was, and whatever caused it, in human terms, Paul was clear about the divine purpose of this trial in his life. God was not interested in teaching Paul to be more self-reliant. God intended this hardship to teach Paul to rely fully on Him. He was at work erasing any lingering sense of Paul's own ability to grin and bear it or to struggle through difficulties on his own. God was leading Paul into a more profound awareness of his weakness, which would make him all the more receptive to God's assurance, "My power is made perfect in weakness." in that 2 Corinthians. How many times have we read that verse before? And just, I should say, how many times have we read over that verse before? I have never looked at it as being so point blank, as being self-reliant. Because we teach our kids to grow up to be independent, self-reliant, try to guide them in ways to be a responsible adult. But how often do we really take a step back and go, wait a minute, let me rephrase that. Yes, you can be responsible and you can be, self-reliant, but the important thing is to know that you can't just lean on yourself. You have to come to the understanding and the humility to know that you can do nothing without Christ. You can do nothing. And that is a hard lesson to learn. I didn't learn it until just a few years ago. I mean, I kept trying and trying and trying and trying. Read this self-help book, read this personal development book, listen to this guy, listen to that guy, or this woman or that woman, for other ways for myself, for me, Rhonda, to fix something that most of the time all I did was mess it up even more and feel like I have to now unlearn what I've learned, this bad habit, to unlearn, to try to learn this new habit. And when I finally surrendered, and one of the biggest things that in my life it was when I quit drinking. I had tried so many times for several years to read this book on it, to listen to this podcast, to follow this girl on social media. How did she quit? And then, just everything was, how did someone else, another human, what tactic did they use? And let me apply that in my life so that I can quit. And it was nothing about me quitting. I didn't have it in me. I was unable. It wasn't until day 84, until my last sobriety journey. I call it my sobriety journey. But it wasn't until the last time that I tried on day 84 when I literally surrendered it. And now I've never looked back. And now I'm going on 4 years sober. So yeah. So when I read that, it hit me kind of as a reminder of how hard I did work on being self-reliant, how hard I've tried to instruct my children to be independent and to, don't wait for somebody else to take care of you. Make sure you can take care of yourself. Those kind of conversations that I've had several times with my adult kids. And, as they were growing up, thinking that I'm teaching them to be independent and, again, self-reliant. It's the words of the day. And so anyway, as I was reading through that, it just kind of hit me that way of, whoa, you know what? We need to take a step back and try not to be self-reliant, because in reality, we're just slowing down the inevitability of the only thing that we can do is step aside and let God take care of it. And so I thought I would share that with you guys today. I apologize about the light. I just didn't realize the sun was setting that quickly through my blinds. So anyway, I hope that was encouraging. I hope that kind of made sense. It just was, something that just laid on my heart as I was reading, and I thought this would be something that it might be helping somebody. Somebody might be listening for something like this today. And I'm just here to encourage you to lay yourself aside, because you can't do it without God. You've got to just step aside, give it to Him, pray for Him to take the burden off of you and to lead you down and through what He's trying to grow you through. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.